All right, I think we're going to give this just a few minutes for everybody to join us. That looks so festive tonight. I love it.
Oh, we are.
Well, it's funny because how many times have you Zoomed in like pajama pants, but nobody knew? And now we're like, proudly.
Now it's pajama pants required.
Exactly. 2020 has just changed the game.
I'm telling you. Someone actually said the other day, what are buttons again? Like pan buttons?
It has been a while. It has been a while.
Buttons.
There you go. Comfy buttons.
And you can't see, but I have little elf legs too.
I love it. You're going to have to stand up at the end and do a little twirl, Lila.
I might knock down my miniature tree.
Oh no, don't do that. I love your miniature tree.
I love it.
All
Any
right.
tree
Well,
with lights.
I think we can go ahead and get started with this really fun night. So thank you all for joining us. My name is Jackie. I'm with the Military Saves team. We are a nonprofit organization and we are dedicated to helping members of the military community save money, reduce debt, and build wealth. And with me tonight, I've got my team members. We have Angela and Lila, and I'll let them go ahead now and give a quick introduction to what they do and where they are.
Yeah, so hello everyone. It's been a while, I feel like, since I've done a live, since we've gotten Jackie, a wonderful addition to the Military Saves teams. Very grateful for her. Again, I'm Angela Caban. I'm the Director of Military Saves, and I'm coming to you live from my living room in New Jersey.
And I'm Lila Quintiliani, and I'm the Senior Program Manager at Military Saves. And I am currently hiding in the basement, trying to escape my kids and my husband, although I have all the pets with me. My basement in Northern Virginia.
Love
I'm
it.
Jackie Tubes. I am the newest addition to the team. I am the program coordinator, and I'm coming to you from North Florida, where it's not that cold. But my kids are not here because shout out to my parents. They're babysitting right now, so thank you, Mom and Dad. Well, for those of you joining us tonight, we're going to do something fun. We're all going to give some shopping confessions because yes, it is important to us that you know we are real people. So although we do help military families save money and learn about finance, we do sometimes make little mistakes. So we want you to know that you're not alone, but we'll also provide some tips. But most exciting tonight is we've got a gift card from Military Families Magazine. So thank you so much, guys, for this. It's $250 to the store or retailer or airline or restaurant or anything of your choice. So if you would like to enter the contest tonight, if you could please comment below with either your own shopping confession or shopping tip and what sort of $250 gift card you would like, we will be happy to pick a winner and we'll award that awesome gift from Military Families Magazine. So why don't we go ahead and get started? We're going to go ahead and kick it off with confessions because that's why you're here. So I'm going to let Angela go first. What is your shopping confession?
So I have to admit, and this is not just pertaining to COVID. Obviously, you know, during the pandemic, we're stuck in the house. What else was there to do? You know, you find yourself browsing. Sometimes after a very long day of work, you know, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm watching a nice movie, hanging out with the family. I tend to get a little bored. It's weird because I feel like I have to multitask, even though it's your chill time, try to relax. I find it very hard to just do one thing at a time. I have to constantly be moving. That might be a mom thing, right? So I get bored and then I somehow stumble upon Amazon, and it's just so easy because everything's always on sale and they have the recommendations based on other things that you've purchased, you know, in the past. So it makes it very appealing. And one thing that I always do is I like to check deals. So if I see that something's on clearance that we could use for next summer, I'm going to purchase it. But what I see happening every now and then is I start to accumulate things. And I notice that either we don't use it in time, like for instance, like clothes for the kids, like they might outgrow it. And then I'm like, oh, well, shoot, can't return it. So we'll just get re-gifted or donate it. But that could become something that could be a little dangerous, so you have to be very careful with that. And what I've noticed is that I don't really like to return things. So if it's like a lot of effort, I would rather just give it as a gift. So I have trouble sometimes staying off of those sites that make things look really pretty, especially this time of year because everything is glittery and there's lights and the music. And so, yeah, I definitely will say that that's where I struggle the most. And Lila knows because I tell her all the time.
Well, thank you, Angela. Okay, how about you, Lila? What would you like to confess?
Well, kind of related to that, I am sort of in some ways the opposite because I'm a serial returner. Like I always buy things and then I have like buyer's remorse, so I return it. So it's funny, like, in pre-COVID times, my trunk would be full of these things that I had ordered online or bought in the store and then took it home. And I'm like, no, I don't really need that, And so I think that may be the one good thing about the pandemic is that because I don't really like to go into stores in person at all anymore, that it's made me become very thoughtful about my purchases. So like I don't, like I think about it, I put it in my cart and then maybe I don't get it because I'm like, yeah, maybe it won't fit or maybe I won't like it in person. So I'm not going to get it. But so I'm a serial returner. But the other thing I always used to do would be for Christmas, I would keep this big like Rubbermaid bin full of stuff that I was, accumulating to give as gifts. And I would do it throughout the year because that's supposed to save you money when you shop the sales, and what would happen would be I would buy things and I would stash them and I would never keep track of what I had gotten. And so I'd get to, December and think I was all done with my Christmas shopping and I might have like, 10 gifts for one person, but nothing for the other person or, so it was very bad that I wasn't tracking that. So I would say like, yeah, I would buy things on sale, which was a good idea and, try to be spreading it out throughout the year. So it wasn't, taking a big hit just in, November and December, but I wasn't planning at all.
Oh,
That happens to all of us.
yes.
Well, I guess it's time for my confession. I am a sucker for targeted ads. If I'm scrolling social media late at night or sometimes I'll like something, that is going to pop up in my feed for the next several weeks through Instagram, through Facebook. And then I'll be like, you know what? I've thought enough about this. Let's check it out. So one is I'm exactly the clientele they want. But secondly, once you get to that cart, they try to upsell you, like, why buy one when you can buy two or three? And I think, oh my gosh, I should buy three. That's so much cheaper. So I have done that with products I've not even tried. And that to me is kind of the embarrassing part. Because why would I stock up on something I don't even know if I'm going to like? So I did that once with whitening toothpaste. I've done it recently with collagen powder that I can add in my coffee. Here I have 3 canisters of a product I've never even tried just because it felt like it was a good deal. So
but your teeth look nice and white, Jack.
But they get me when they're like, you can buy this for 30% off. And I'm like, I didn't even know I needed this. And now suddenly I'm trying to find a place to store it. So
Those algorithms, I'm telling you, they got you.
they got me. It's like they're spying on me at all times.
Yes.
Well, okay, awesome. That's a good way to kick that off. I'm glad you're not alone. Maybe before we move on, because what we're going to do next is ask some random questions, and then we'll all kind of take turns answering as a panel. But before I do, I'd love to address what everyone's wearing tonight, because usually the 3 of us are, professionally dressed. We're in meetings, and this is the first. So, Lila, can you first tell me about your Christmas sweater?
I'm actually wearing my it's actually my husband's ugly Christmas sweater here. It's gonna mess up my hair, but I'm gonna show you the full effect.
I love it.
That's awesome. How about you, Angela? Yours is so cute and you look so festive and glittery.
So I had help for my 8-year-old because she's very much the fashion diva, and she decided that this was not enough glitter here. I had to add the Christmas earrings, and then she put some glitter on my eyes. But then I'm also rocking my Clark Griswold from a Christmas Vacation pants because that's one of my favorite movies. But I'm very comfortable because these are all pajamas. So.
Well, mine is funny because we were all, doing what are we going to wear for this? And I was asked, do you have an ugly sweater? And I was like, no, I don't. And then funny enough, today I was at my mom's house and just happened to find this sweatshirt that I made for Christmas in like 19.
I love it.
My mom has saved this. I got a sweatshirt in glitter puff paint. It was very 80s. And the thing still fits. So I was like, that with some
amazing
snowflake. Yeah, and voila. That's
I love it.
Money. Keep your clothes for 40 years. No,
because things come back in fashion, and then there you go. You're in style again.
Snip here, snip there, and boom, the 80s are back. And I didn't have to pay a thing. Okay, so let's go ahead to the next segment. I'm going to kick it off by asking some questions. We'll all ask 2 questions of each other and just see who chimes in here. So, my first question. Have you ever hidden a purchase or real cost of a purchase from your spouse?
Yes and no. And he might be watching this. Sorry, babe. Eventually we'll tell each other before the purchase gets to the house. So that's right. That's a yes and no. However, we do have our own discretionary accounts that when we do our spending plan for the month, we know we have X amount of dollars that we can spend on something fun for ourselves. There have been some occasions where we've gone a little bit over and I'm just kind of like, yikes. So, but eventually, yes, I do tell him. I don't hide. It's funny because I'm looking at the comments from the live and it's so funny how many people hide boxes from their spouse. And that's a thing. I'm not saying that I've never done that, but I haven't in a while. So.
Oh my gosh. At least we're not alone.
I love it. The comments are amazing. You guys are like making me crack up over here.
How about you, Lila? Does that apply to you?
I mean, we don't really hide. We haven't really had to hide anything, but we had early on in our marriage some like angry buying, like where one of us would get mad and buy something. And I remember, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't even know. I'm trying to remember if my kids were even born, but my husband and I, we got into an argument and he went out and he went to like Sports Authority or whatever the sporting goods store was. And he bought some sort of like gym equipment. And then that was like the albatross that we carried around from PCS to PCS. We would move and this giant piece of like, I don't know, it was like a pull-up bar, push-up thingy. I don't know what it was even. And it was always in the corner, like, and it hardly ever got used, and it was always like there. And it was because of that we started having a discretionary account actually. So now we each have our own little, spending money that we budget for. But yeah, and we finally, on this last PCS coming up to Virginia from Florida, we finally got rid of that thing.
Thank goodness.
I gifted it. I put it up on Facebook. I said, does anybody want this? It was, my husband was okay with it because he hadn't used it in years, And I said, does anybody want it? And somebody had a kid who was going to one of the service academies and was trying to get into, shape and wanted exercise equipment. So I went to a good cause, but we finally got rid of that angry purchase.
So it ended up helping someone in the long run.
It helped someone. It helped us realize that we each needed our own spending, our discretionary account. So it served a purpose, but yeah.
I don't know if you see the comment, Jackie from Atia Ingram. She says that she doesn't hide purchases, but she rounds down on the price. That is genius.
Exactly that, where you just fudge a little like, oh yeah, it was only X amount of money.
Oh, I love it.
Fantastic. Oh, well, thank you, ladies. That was a good one to kick off. I thought we'd get a little scandalous on that. Okay, this one probably everyone has done, but I have to ask, have you ever signed up for a subscription and you forgot to cancel it?
Oh, gosh. This just happened to us. So I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of parents of younger children that are watching now and during the COVID-19, you know, shut down. We were all kind of like thrown into like, oh, we don't know when we're ever leaving the house. And there was a lot of really amazing programs for younger children that were offering free trials, like 6 months free, 8 months free. So we're like, oh, let's sign up for this. It would be so fun. There's like extra activities that didn't revolve around just like sitting and staring at schoolwork all day, but some fun games and things. Well, I just realized 3 months ago that the trial had ended and we were being charged now for like the full price. I was like, oh, shoot. And that's honestly not like me, because if there's one thing that I always write down in my book is if I do sign up for like a free trial of whatever it might be, I'll actually put it in either electronically in my phone, or I'll write it down in the calendar and say, hey, you know, your trial's getting ready to expire. But I don't know, was it COVID brain? I guess I was just kind of like, I didn't think of it. So unfortunately, we did not get that money back, which, all right, that's fine. But yeah, it was kind of upsetting because it was quite a bit of money, you know, and for something that wasn't being used.
That is super frustrating.
Yeah, we've had the same thing happen. Like, I mean, you'd think you'd learn the first time, but I think it's happened to us like 3 different separate times. And
Yeah.
I think I actually was so proud of myself that right before, because last year on Black Friday, I had gotten a subscription to something and it was going to run out. And I was so proud I caught it 2 days before it auto renewed at like 3 times the price. So I was super proud of myself for doing that. But yes, it has happened to us. I can think of at least 3 times when we've, you know, had a subscription that just auto renewed. So definitely try to write that on the calendar on my, you know, so it comes up and as a reminder that in a year, I try to do that.
Yeah, those little reminders on your phone, they're a lifesaver. What do we call those? Vampire coughs that are just coming out.
Yeah, right.
And just sucking your bank account dry. So stay on top of those people.
Yes, definitely.
Can I ask a question?
Angela, do you want to ask a couple
Can
questions?
I want to know, okay, and this is for either one of you.
Like truth or dare.
I know, right? That's what I feel like, because we're in the jammies, I'm sitting on the floor. Has there ever been something that you've purchased like in the middle of the night when you can't sleep?
Yes, I have. I'll answer that one. So last year I traveled internationally and I went to Australia, which is awesome, amazing trip. But the time zones, the jet lag were intense. And for like a week, I was still in Australia time. So I'd be up in the middle of the night and I swear every targeted ad was like, can't sleep, you need this, you need that. And so I ended up one night at 3 a.m. purchasing like $100 weighted blanket because they were targeting all the folks with insomnia. And I was one of them. And so I bought it. And then like a couple days later, I thought, did I really just spend that much on a blanket? And I'll tell you what, though, I have it. I love it. I use it. The kids use it. But at the time, I thought, had I not been sleep deprived, I would not have just like forked this out for, you know, a 15-pound blanket.
How did they know?
Yeah.
I know. My kids, I'm like, be careful with that. That was expensive. You know?
Oh, that's so hey, you're doing something right, Mom.
Yeah, but yeah, it was, I was exhausted in the middle of the night and I was scrolling social media and boom, I made a purchase that I completely hadn't planned on and that was not cheap.
Eesh. I mean, at least you used it though, I guess, right?
I actually use it every night and the kids
That's
like
good.
fight over it. So yay, another thing to fight over.
Well, I sometimes justify expensive purchases if I think like if it's something I really use and I love, and then you can kind of like divide it up and kind of give it a like cost per use, you know, like I have things like expensive shoes or something. If I've worn them for years, I mean, the cost per use is like pennies on the dollar. So that's how I sometimes do the mental justification for expensive splurges. You know, if it's something that you've only used once or twice, then yeah, then, you know.
Then that would be.
But
exactly.
you use it every day and you enjoy it, then, you know.
Remorse if I got it and hated it and been like, oh, because could you imagine the shipping to return a 15?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Then you'd be like me and you'd say, forget it. Yeah. So really funny comment from our Facebook Live guys from Deneen Del Priori. She says, I've purchased things half asleep and then forgot I did.
Right? I've purchased them while awake and forgot. And one of my best friends calls it Amazonnesia, and it to me is the best. Like I get a box, I'm like, oh shoot, what did I order? What is this?
Isn't it exciting when you don't know what it is and then you open it and you're like, yay, what is this? Like it's Christmas, except you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So, okay, really, really, this is interesting. Is there a theme to the things that you've purchased throughout the pandemic? Like, think about it, the things that you've bought.
Yes, I can say there are things I've bought that, yes, I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, I want to know.
I work from home. I've been schooling my kids from home. Like every day is bring your kids to work day and take mom to school day. And so I have been in comfy clothes, activewear, pajamas. And I have started I got obsessed this year with buying cute dresses because I was like, ooh, I'm going to go out one night. Like eventually there's going to be like a ladies night or something. And I've purchased like 6 dresses and I've worn none of them. And I will say that I did shop. Every single thing was either on sale or clearance. And I did use a coupon code because that is
Oh, good.
I do it and can justify it. But I've got all these dresses hanging in my closet, just like begging for me to please, clean up and get dolled up and go out in public again. So that's one. The other is massage stuff. Like I got a neck massager, a foot massager. Like I'm just trying to pamper myself as much as I possibly can. So I have like dreams of the future and while trying to relieve stress. And these aren't things that I normally would buy, but this year's just been so crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have actually fallen into, I don't know if you can call it a trap, but retail therapy. There are times where I was like, I need this to feel better. So whether physically or just like a mental lift of, ooh, this leopard print dress is going to look amazing eventually.
One day it will.
I hope it fits by the time, because like I bought it for the size I was, and now I'm like, 2020.
Oh gosh. Well, some really fun themes before we move on is from comments are outdoor toys, cleaning supplies, and one is my theme has been I don't want to cook equals too many Grubhub orders.
Oh my God, yes. I didn't even go into that. Yes.
Fitness equipment and exercise clothes. Yeah, that goes back into what, self-care and feeling good about yourself and trying to get some movement into your life. Oh, someone wrote a lot of DoorDash and Lysol.
Oh, true. So true. That's all of us.
I love it.
I know. I was telling my mom that I think the pizza industry has probably made a killing this year. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
Because you don't have to cook. It's easy. It's a crowd pleaser. You don't have to do dishes. It's like a special, like, ooh, it's Friday because you don't know what day it is half the time. So it's like, well, we'll get pizza and then we'll know what day it is.
Pizza Fridays, right?
Pizza Friday.
I love it. I love it.
So did you guys realize that the Thursday before Christmas is actually National Regifting Day?
I did not. I did not.
And because I'm a numbers person, I actually looked this up, and 83% of Americans think it's okay to regift.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
my question for you guys is, if you get something you don't like, do you return it? Do you what do you do with it?
See, this all goes back to, I don't want to say I'm being lazy. I just find it too
You're
much.
not.
I'm not, well, no, exactly, because I'm exhausted. Darn it. So I just feel like if I don't like it, if it doesn't fit, and if it's just a hassle, if I know I'm not going back to that store, if I have to, here's the thing, if I have to go to the post office, I won't do it. I will legit just find someone. There's like a lot of these, there's actually a group and I know a lot of other towns have it on Facebook. There's groups where it's buy nothing, give.
I love buy nothing. Yeah.
I love it. And it's like, my thought of it is, all right, I purchased it with the intention of using it. If I'm not going to use it or if it doesn't fit or whatever, I can bless someone else and they can, if they really need it or if they really like it. And I would just rather do that. But I mean, obviously, if I needed, the funds, and that'd be a different situation, because there were times where I'd say, oh, no, I have to make an effort to return this or exchange this because I'm not going to waste the money. But yeah, no, to me, it's really difficult to just get back to the post office or whatever it is, unless they come to my door and pick it up.
Yeah, I completely agree. When we were stationed in Germany, the post office was such an ordeal. Like there was always a line. You had to wait like 2 weeks to even get something. So then it would come in, it didn't quite fit, didn't work. And the idea of packaging something up or having to use customs forms, it was like, nope, I'm just gonna see who wants this or donate it. We had like a recycle center on base which was awesome. You could just get free stuff. Like you could drop off stuff, pick it up for free. So PCS and go grab like a vacuum or clothes or whatever. It was awesome. But I realized I was like, how much money am I spending to just donate it to random people or give gift to a friend? Like right now I've got pants for my 10-year-old who just keeps growing like a weed and they don't quite work. And I'm like, it's Christmas, it's the holiday season. The post office is going to be insane. Do I really feel like taking these pants back, standing in line, So if I buy it online and not in a physical store and have to return it, like 9 times out of 10, I don't actually return it. I just regift it, or sometimes it just goes to like Goodwill. And then it's just poof, gone.
Yeah. I feel you.
I'm like,
I know.
I'm looking at
we're not alone, people. We're not alone.
We've got Air Base has the busiest post office. I believe it. I have been there.
Patricia Bennett. Hello.
Yeah.
I love seeing names I know.
Someone else. Yeah, like this is amazing. Oh, I don't feel alone. And we don't want you to feel alone. So.
No, because this is, guys, this is life. This is real life. I mean, our mission is strong and our mission stands true, but we're humans and 2020 has just been funky. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, along those lines, I also looked this up. This was a survey from like March of this year, and they were talking about last year. So can you only imagine what this is going to be when you look at all of 2020? But in March of this year, a survey showed that 22.9% of Americans bought something while drinking.
Oh boy. Oh buddy.
And they spent like $45 billion last year was spent on drunk buying. So I've got to ask, have either of you ever bought something while drinking?
So
Angela, you want to go first?
Sure. And I do have to say there's plenty of people on here. I love seeing names that I know this story. So I wouldn't call it drunk. I'd call it happy purchases. It's going to be 3 years ago. I really, really, really wanted a Peloton. Okay. I had done my research on it. I just knew it was something I wanted. Sorry guys, my puppy.
Oh, Ollie, so cute.
So I was away on business, out with friends, having dinner, drinks, got back to the hotel room and just stumbled upon the Peloton ad that popped up on my phone. And then I said, you know what? I work very hard. I'm gonna pay this off. There was an interest free because I did my research. I didn't want to have to pay a percentage on that. And I just pressed the purchase button. And then the next morning I said, what did I do? I didn't even talk to my husband about it. He's going to kill me. And that's, do not ever, now it's like one of those things that we laugh about it because not for nothing, that might've been impulsive, but it has legit been, it's paid for itself. It paid for itself in the first couple of months. I ride that thing almost every day, it's just really, I don't recommend not making those types of purchases without speaking to your spouse or your partner, because it's just not nice, but yeah, I've had those moments. I think most of us have.
Pretty epic moment. Well, that's actually a good question for our viewers. Do you and your spouse have this sort of agreement, or is it a dollar limit, like anything over $100, or do you have a threshold where you have to first?
Good question.
Thank you. I can't wait
to
say. So my purchase was super recent. I was so proud because I manage social media for Military Saves, and on Black Friday, I was like, here's a tip. Use Black Friday to buy essential items, things you would use anyway, but you can get deeply discounted. And, I was really proud of that. And that was because one of our savers commented, I buy diapers. And I was like, yeah, I like that. So I went in and bought deodorant because I've got two boys, and and I thought, yes, I'm getting it at 40% off or whatever. No, I think it was like 15%. I wish 40. And so I was great. And then that night I was like, you know what? It's Friday. It's a holiday weekend after Thanksgiving. And I ended up buying a bunch of press-on nails, which I've got right here. They're really cute.
They're so pretty, Jackie.
Oh, you're going to see them like all next year because I bought more than enough. They were like 40% off. And I kind of woke up the next day and was like, oh, my order's confirmed. Oh my gosh. Like I didn't even really recall that I just went in, and I had to go and look through the order. Like, okay, at least they're cute. I liked what I picked. Was it essential? No. But next year, and technically I will be saving a ton on what I would pay if I went to a salon. If I went to a salon, it'd probably be $30. These are like less than $4 a pop with what I paid. So
yeah, that's
thank you, wine, for that.
Right. And I was going to say that kind of goes back to what Lila was saying earlier, that if it's something you're going to use,
yeah,
it's like when my husband bulk shops on certain things, like toothpaste, toothbrushes, toilet paper. If it's on sale, and I'm like, well, why did you do that? We have so much. We're going to use it anyways, eventually. So it's like, all right, I get it. But it's like, yikes, where are we going to store all this stuff? So that's kind of like where you're like, all right, well, I'm going to use it. I'm not like frivolous, like being frivolous with my money and just, spending it on certain things that, you're going to store in the closet, in a container and never look at it. So, I totally get that.
I don't know if you've ever watched those like extreme couponer shows, but that's what they always do. They just will stock up and double, triple coupons or whatnot. And they'll usually have like an extra room or pantry or something because they use toilet paper to make a 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can, if you are going to use it, that's good. And if not, you can always regift it, as we've said. But yeah, so, well, Angela.
Are you guys seeing the comments? Some of these things that
a lot of
have purchased.
Toothbrushes. We've got some good dental hygiene here. Oh,
I know. That's the one I'm looking at. Bianca Sterkowski.
Bianca, my husband bought a Harley when he came home from Afghanistan without telling me he was going to the Harley shop to do this.
Oh.
That beats my Peloton. All right.
I don't know what to say on that one.
I know. That beats. Someone's stocking up on toothbrushes here. Oh, it's my sister.
Well, good.
Oh gosh, you guys, this is great. I love all these comments.
Yeah, I bought a ton of coffee pods on Black Friday because of the same thing.
Pods.
I mean, I'm going to use it anyway, so.
Pods, right? Oh,
yeah, those little.
I'm like, how many coffee pods?
Oh, no, the coffee pods, the Nespresso pods, so.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's something you're going to use anyway. And now, like, I kind of feel like I have to do my nails all next year. Like, if they're not, I'll be like, come on, Jackie, you got this, like, surplus. Like, you gotta.
You're saving money. It's more expensive at the salon.
I actually am saving money, but if I hadn't been drinking that night, I probably just would have skipped the purchase altogether. But for whatever reason, again, I've got this fabulous idea of dresses and nails and,
So then this leads up to another fun question. Has anybody put money in their savings account while drinking?
Yes.
Yes, that's great.
Yes. I bought my Vanguard. I have mutual funds. And so I was like, the other night, I was like, you know what? I just got this new job in Military Saves 2 months ago.
Oh, yay.
Well, one of our blog posts recently, Martina was one of our savers, and she and her husband saved up a 6-figure.
I know.
And I was like, why isn't mine 6 figures? I need to up my game. And so I put in all this money. And the next day I was like, okay, let's just not overly shop for Christmas.
Yeah. It makes you think like what little small changes can you make within, right, the way you live and your life that could help. And I feel like we have this conversation every day. Obviously, this is what we do. And reading that story, I was like, ooh, I think I told you, Lila, I need to step it up a notch. Like this is really good. Like I really need to, because obviously we have our automatic savings that are going into the savings account. And then every now and then when we stumble upon some extra money, I'm like, okay, We don't need this. So let's just let's tuck it away. Let's put it away for whatever, that ends up being the emergency savings, the vacation fund, whatever it is. So, and actually now my son's braces account, oh goodness, that's not fun. It's not fun to spend it on that.
That's funny that you put away money while drinking too. And I've done that as well.
I have.
Just the inhibitions are a little bit lowered, but I dare say that's a bit more productive than shopping, even if it's something you need and you're going to save on. Like
it is. Well, did you guys, the comment, it says someone took, all right, Bianca took the military saves pledge while sitting at a bar in DC. And she says she has saved more during the pandemic than ever in their military career.
Yes. You know what? I have too. And you know why? I'm not traveling. I'm not buying airfare. I'm not going out as much.
Same here.
Ladies' night. Like, it's just not what it normally is, where that social life fund is, pretty active. I've just been home with my kids and I thought, well, I might as well just sock it away. So,
right.
But yeah. I do know that Bianca took the military saves pledge in a bar.
I love it.
To promote our pledge.
Everybody on this now, you can take the military saves pledge anywhere. Remember that. Okay. Anywhere you are.
And if
you can text it.
Saver story to us and we feature you on our blog, you can win $50. And you're famous on our blog.
Yes. And it's on there year round, as everyone knows. And that's good that Lila just said that. You can text military saves to 877-877 and bam, you could take the pledge right there.
Perfect. And again, a reminder for those of you who are tuning in, if you are interested in winning a $250 gift card tonight for the shop of your choice, go ahead and list below what your savings tip, either your shopping confession or your shopping tip is, as well as where you want the gift card to be, whether it's Target, Delta, Disney, whatever.
Anything. And it's an e-card, so you can shop or save or whatever immediately.
Well, great. Well, those were our questions. These are great. Thank you so much for weighing in. This is wonderful. Like, I feel like we've got a really engaged audience tonight.
Yeah, it's just exciting. I think everybody's kids are in bed.
All the confessions of what not to do. I think maybe now's a good time to segue into what our shopping tips are. So, Angela, we'll start with you. What would you like to share as a shopping tip with our audience tonight?
So I think the biggest thing for me, and again, this took a very long time for me to learn. We've made plenty of mistakes and, have fallen pretty hard. So if you have to really think about it, you probably don't need it. You might want it. You don't necessarily need it in that moment. You have to prioritize what's important. So for us, in 2017, we were actually able to purchase a house, and it was something that we were working very hard, honestly, we didn't know it was ever going to happen for us because we had a lot of financial, hiccups. And so for us, being able to do that, paying off a lot of debt and just really getting back on our feet financially, there was a lot of struggle. There was a lot of sacrifice that we had to make for the end result of having, our home. So one thing that actually helped me is just remove the temptation. So I shared at the beginning of this live, Amazon is a weakness for me because it's easy, it's there, you hit one button and boom. And sometimes you can have whatever it is that you need at your doorstep. And we're trying to reduce the amount of times that we're going in the stores because of COVID. So it's just easy, but that adds up. Even though if you think, oh, it's just $16 here, $20 there. Yeah, at the end of the week, that could be like $200 that you just spend on Amazon. So, and of course, there are things that you need and things that you don't. So for me, just remove the temptation. If you are really struggling with that, remove those apps or take out your credit card information, because not for nothing, I found it many times when we were getting ready to purchase a house, we just took everything out. And I would have to just think, all right, well, I'm not going to go get my credit card. That's just too much work. It's like going to the post office. I'm not going to go get my credit card from my purse. So that really helps me. I think it's almost like a mental thing that trick that I play with myself, and it does, and it adds up. Like at the end of the month, you don't realize how much money. I'm actually terrified to think of adding that up, right? That cost that you spend on that one weakness that you have. So that really does work for me. I know it's not for everyone because everyone's situation is different, but it did. It ended up, benefiting us because we have our house.
Awesome. So don't make shopping super easy. So take off the Amazon
Correct.
app or whatever other shopping apps you have, and don't save your payment information, because if you have to
Mhm.
think about it, have to enter your card, and you might start questioning, do I really need this? That's smart.
Correct.
How about you, Lila? What's your shopping tip?
Well, I do the same thing that Angela does. I never have my card remembered. I mean, partially for security reasons, but also because I don't want to make it so easy to make a purchase like that. I never, do like the one click shopping option or whatever. I always try to make, have to be a little bit of effort to buy something. But then if there is something I want, I always research it before I buy it. Cause I'm like, I take forever to decide on a purchase, and I always do comparison, shopping on price comparisons. And I always Google like the word of the website or the store and coupon, because I have found like the weirdest, even like an appliance repair place has coupons on, codes. So I always look for a coupon code before I buy anything. And then I guess my last thing is that I always try to control myself if like if there's a threshold for free shipping. This is my weakness. Another weakness of mine is I will often try to add something to my cart to try to get it up to that threshold for free shipping. But then is it like, does it even make sense to do that if I'm adding something that costs $20 that I don't need just to get over the threshold of free shipping, which might have been like $6 or $7, so I just try to be very conscious of how the retailers are trying to manipulate me to add more to my cart. So
That's a really good point.
Perfect. I've done that. My mom shared a meme the other day, which I should maybe share. I think it was my mom. I'll have to ask her. But it said something to the effect of like $25 plus $5 shipping. No, but it was like $30 with no shipping. Yes. And you're thinking you're spending $30 either way, but for whatever reason, you think, oh, if it's free, then I definitely have to. Yeah. That's good. I've done that too, where I think, do I really need to pay $20 for an extra like $7 savings? Not really.
Right. Yeah, so true.
Well, mine is, I would have to say, I used to do this back when I would go to Target all the time. I would sometimes put stuff in my cart, and then I would kind of like have a moment before I check out of, okay, let me go through the cart. Do I really need this? Because Target's always, it's adorable. Like everything's beautifully laid out, it's color coded, whatever. And so I would think I don't really need this. And then I would kind of pare down my cart to the essentials and then check out. And so what I've done with online shopping is I will try to not buy that same day. Like I will sleep on it sometimes, give it a day or two. And then I'll realize like I really don't want that or need it. Maybe I was just in a weird mood and was looking for some retail therapy. And so a lot of times I find that if I wait and don't buy it in that moment, I don't actually want it. So maybe I'll save it for later. I've also found from other retailers, sometimes if you do that, they suddenly email you a day later saying, hey, you left something in your cart. Here's 15% off, and suddenly you get a discount just for waiting. So I think good things come to those who wait. But also if you evaluate where you are, what you're feeling at that moment, like, are you looking to fill a void? Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling nostalgic? Are you like, what is it? Is purchasing something going to make you feel better, or is it going to make you feel worse in the end, where you think, man, where am I going to store that? Am I going to use it? I shouldn't have spent that money. So I think just really trying to be cognizant of what you're buying and why is helpful. So that would be my tip. So yay, this is good. I love this. We should do more, ladies. This is fantastic. And I think that we've got a lot of tips rolling in as well. So I
was going to say, I love these tips, and I love that there's a lot of price matching, not just buying it. If you know you need something or you want something, you're not just going to say, oh, let me just buy it. No, they're going to multiple, locations, pricing things out. I love this. I love Rose's comment. She's trying to remind herself that she doesn't necessarily need new all the time. So that goes back to that whole regifting community, Lila, that you were talking about before. I just love that.
And sometimes it comes out as a new model. You can buy like last year's model, and it's still going to be amazing, but for a lot less.
Correct. I love it. Patricia mentioned that she shops clearance racks and shelves, and I actually do that. I just did that at a store. I was going to give the store's name. I guess I can say Macy's. And they're having like their end of year sale and it's all the summer stuff. And I'm like, oh, yay. And I think we left there spending like $50 and I got a majority of the summer clothes for my daughter for next year. And I'm like, this is fantastic. So I don't have to worry about her attire next year, for the summer.
That's perfect. Like this Christmas tree is crooked. It was purchased at PX in Germany, and my toddler promptly knocked it over the day we got it. I've had this thing forever. And I was just telling my parents, I was like, oh, I really want a new tree. But then I said, you know what? I can just buy one at an after Christmas special.
Yeah.
So if you can wait until after the season for clothing, for items like this, and then you're set up for next year. So if you need, lights or decorations, if you can wait and do it after, I think that's good, because really so many of the stores are catering to that. Have to buy it now, have to get the latest
Right.
trend. If you really are fine with
Immediate gratification.
exactly, it will pay off in the long run.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And a lot of comments here that are saying the same thing. So this is so great, guys.
Yeah, my mom taught me to. I know I keep talking about my mom. It's weird. She's probably gonna love this. I need to make sure.
That's great. It's not weird. It's nice. She taught you well.
As a teen, though, she always taught me, like, don't get stuck on the display. So I go in a mall, and she's like, go to the back of the store. So my friends and I learned to make a beeline to that weird rack in the back, and you could find the best clearance deals, because obviously in the windows are going to be all the brand new colors.
Right.
Yeah, that's ingrained in me. So even when I have done my online shopping, as I said, that I've done just recently, I always make sure that I click on clearance or sale first. I don't just buy the new and latest. So even though there have been some questionable purchases this year, little blind purchases, I think that I'm still trying to use the coupon codes, trying to shop clearance. So it's in there.
Yeah, and go ahead, Lila. Sorry.
No, I was also thinking when you were saying about, it doesn't have to be the latest model, but I also think that there has, in the past, been sort of a shame around buying things that are like used or consignment stuff. And
Yep.
I mean, I think that now it's got actually, though, has kind of like my teenagers love doing stuff like that. They buy stuff on Mercari and I think that that's great too. I don't think there should be any shame in buying something, that's pre-owned. A lot of things, that are pre-owned are better. Like some of the older, like they say that like some of the vinyl records, they're better than having, CDs or the quality of it, or, clothing and everything. I think it's great. You can buy some great vintage things that they don't make the clothes like that anymore.
I was going to say it's retro, it's vintage.
Yeah.
It's
I think, yeah.
I wish my mother would have kept a lot of her things, like her clothes, her purses, her shoes, things like that, because I feel like everything from like the 80s and the early 90s is back in style again,
Yeah, we recently a family friend gave us like all of her 80s big giant earrings and everything, and my daughters are in love with it. So it's
Oh,
so
I would love that. It's so cool.
and so there's nothing wrong with having, some of the older things, and even like I've always been surprised, like antique furniture and stuff is so much
Right.
cheaper than going to the to the furniture store now, and it's better quality, better
It won't
made.
fall apart.
That's the way in. So I was on a board for a Veterans Awards event, and we had to dress up, and there was this big evening in DC, and I was going out one night for Chinese, and there was a Goodwill in the shopping center, and I looked at it and I said, my dress is going to be in there. And I thought, because how many times do we wear a dress once, or wear a bridesmaid or whatever, and then you just give it to Goodwill, because what are you going to do with it? And I found an evening gown for $8, and $8, and everyone was like, oh, this is so pretty, I love it. It had the lace.
Jackie, I know what dress that is because I saw the picture. That's a beautiful dress.
$8 from Goodwill, because I thought they wore it once, I'm going to wear it once, so I don't need to invest a ton of money. And it came together beautifully. So there's my shopping victory confession.
And going with that though, like, and being completely honest, because I remember, and again, it's all about the way people talk about things, like, don't ever brag how much money you spend, but not for nothing. If you're going to compliment me on my shoes, on my dress, I'm like, I got this from Target on clearance and I only paid $5. Like, I am proud of that. Like, I would never say, oh, thanks. No, because the truth is I wouldn't, But I just love telling people, yeah, go to Target. This is where I got it from. Like, I'll tell you, I will literally show you in the store where you can get such a great deal. And I think that's something to be proud of. So not ashamed of.
Helping others.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So yeah, no, I love hearing that. And like, again, all the comments from the viewers, it's the same thing. I usually buy clearance toy section in July at Target and hide them for Christmas and birthday presents. That's like genius.
Just write it down. Write it down. Don't be like
write
me.
it down who you're gifting, or also you're going to do a Lila and you're going to end up with things in the buckets. And
also, then if you have the birthday bucket and you forget, like, did I give this to that kid last year? Then you have to, yeah. So make sure you write it down.
My mom used to do that. She'd probably kill me for saying this, but she used to put things away and stash it. And then she'd be like, where did I put that? And she would never find it again. It's like it was gone. The house ate it.
Oh yeah, we had one year at Christmas where the doorbell rang, and like we had already opened Christmas gifts hours ago, and we opened the front door and there was a bowling set that was like from Santa. Like you could tell it had been forgotten. I was like, oh crap, we got him that plastic bowling.
I love it.
Yeah, well, you were talking about Clark Griswold and Christmas
Yes.
Vacation when he's up in the attic and he finds those old gifts and they're all dusty.
The Mother's Day present. Yeah. When you stash things so nicely, you're just like, oh, oops.
It is. Oh, that's funny.
I love
Oh my gosh. And I was just reading about what Dolores said about, I went to Target for 2 things and ended up spending $100.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Everybody's been there at some
Is there
point.
do we call that something? I always say like that bullseye kind of like lures you in. It's like you're under the Target spell. Like, come to me, buy things you don't need.
Oh, and Sarah says, I haven't paid full price for a ball gown for a birthday ball in years. They were either free, barred, or clearance at David's Bridal. Oh, I used to work at David's Bridal, and we would have some awesome clearance sales. So yeah, that's
great idea.
But yeah, that's true, because military balls, like if you're gonna spend like what, 150 a pop every single time, like that's gonna add up.
Right.
But, I don't know, like there are ways, and you can even watch, like I watched YouTube tutorials and did my own hair and makeup for free. I mean, the most expensive thing I bought were earrings for like $20. That was more than the dress.
Yeah.
And they have those kind of like dress swaps and jewelry swaps. I know like my local Buy Nothing group on they have a thing where they pass around a big bucket of jewelry, costume jewelry, and you put one in and you take one and pass it on. So I think those kind of things are great.
I like the concept of that. Someone comment from Rosa saying, exception on deals. Small business shopping can be difficult to find a deal, but you're supporting made in the USA and local families. And that's very important now that we keep that in mind with COVID-19. She says, I don't mind paying a little extra when shopping local if I can afford it. So that is a very good point. We actually live in the same town, so we try to do, if we can afford it and it's in that budget for what we've, allocated for the month, we definitely stay local and we do what we can. And I know talking a lot about like Amazon and Target and just like all these deals that are popping up, it's hard, especially when you really are trying to make that plan, that spending plan you've made for yourself and your family stretch a little bit longer for the month. But if, obviously we're being mindful of knowing that everybody's situation is different and not everybody can.
Right, for sure. Definitely with food shopping and food, like prepared food shopping. I've been supporting a lot of local, not just restaurants, but like pop-up like type places.
Oh, I love those places.
Yeah, and
season.
Yeah, and just like bakeries and stuff that are really only, out of somebody, like online kind of things that are a small business.
Right. Yeah, that's so great. I love that.
Oh, fantastic. Well, ladies, thank you so much. It's funny because I knew we were planning to talk for about 30 minutes and we have just been on a roll, and all of you watching, there's Tally.
Hi, Tally. This is like the puppies of Military Save. I love this so much. Hi, Tally. Hi, cutie.
She's like, why did they leave me down here all day?
Hi, baby. Look at those ears. Jackie's like, oh my gosh.
I know. I'm like, I'm the one without a dog.
Jackie wants all
Aw.
the puppies in her house now. She's like, bring me the puppies.
I could have grabbed one of my kids' stuffed animals and been like,
Oh, Jackie. Well, when we can travel again, you got to come to New Jersey. You can get all the cuddles, and then we'll make our way down to Virginia. More cuddles. I love it.
Deal. Well, I appreciate all of you for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. You have been a fabulously engaged audience. I'm going to say it one more time. We want to thank Military Families Magazine. They are giving us one lucky viewer a $250 digital gift card to anywhere you want. So to enter that, please list your shopping confession below or shopping tip and the store retailer, wherever you would like this gift card to be from, please list it below. And it can be practical, it can be fanciful, it's up to you. It's been a crazy year, you deserve it. And we're just so happy that Military Families Magazine has supported Military Saves and our audience with this wonderful gift. All right, well, ladies, Lila and Angela, thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you for your wonderful confessions and your tips. This has been so much fun. I definitely think we need to do this again.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
for all of you watching, we hope you have a really happy holiday. Stay safe, have fun, and don't go too crazy and spend too much. And if you do, we're here. Take the Military Saves Pledge. Do you want to go ahead and drop that text number again, Angela?
Yeah, so if you want to take the Military Saves Pledge via your cell phone, because I know you have it in your hand right now, text Military Saves to 877-877. And what are you waiting for? You can take it anywhere. You heard. People are taking it all sorts of places, bars, kitchens, restaurants. Just take it. We'll hold you accountable for your shopping. Yes, exactly. Absolutely. And you can take it and when you take the Military Saves Pledge, you can pledge for any goal. It doesn't necessarily have to be, again, it's not one size fits all. So don't feel like there's any pressure there.
Great. Well, thank you all so much, ladies. It was wonderful. Thank your dogs for joining us. Thanks to our fabulous audience. We do hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and stay tuned for more from Military Saves. We've got a lot of fun coming your way.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.